Right, so a video I didn't really expect to make today, but as you can tell by the title of this video, Maurizio Sarri, the former Chelsea manager of course of last season, has just been sacked by Juventus following their Champions League exit last night to Lyon, which is kind of a strange one in truth because he did win the Serie A with Juventus this season, although it's not really a difficult league to win. But yeah, to me it is quite surprising that he did get sacked like 2 or so weeks after winning the Serie A. I mean, I know a lot of clubs in Europe like that don't really see the league as the main priority. They like to do well in the Champions League, but even still it kind of does surprise me. But then on the other hand, Juventus did massively underperform in the Champions League last season. Like, they really should have at least been getting to the semi-finals, and really they should have beaten a team like Lyon. Like, as good as Lyon are, they have some decent players like the likes of Depay and Newah, etc. But still, Juventus should be beating them with the squad they have with likes like Ronaldo, Dybala and all those kind of players. But yeah, of course I am a Chelsea fan, and this video is going to be a Chelsea fan's reaction to Maurizio Sarri getting sacked by Juventus, because of course Maurizio Sarri was a man that divided quite a lot of opinion between the Chelsea fan base last season, and probably the most any manager, player or even a person that's worked at a club has ever divided opinion at a football club, to be honest. Because over the course of last season you had 50% of the fan base that backed Sarri and 50% of the fan base that didn't back Sarri, and my overall opinion on Maurizio Sarri and how he did at Chelsea changed throughout the season. I mean, there was fluctuations in how I felt about him, but yeah, it's a really strange one for me because I do think Maurizio Sarri is a decent manager. However, I think his main downfall is the fact that he's way too stubborn. He only likes to play the way he wants to play football and nothing else. Like, don't get me wrong, he's very knowledgeable in the way that he wants to play football. He likes this passing, free-flowing, attacking game of football, but sometimes if it's not played well it can look very boring, and the fact that Chelsea didn't have the players really to play to those sort of strengths last season under Sarri, I think that was his main downfall, because the players really didn't have the qualities to buy into Sarri's philosophy after only 1 year, and that's why it did look kind of boring from a Chelsea fan's point of view. But yeah, I thought moving back to Juventus would kind of, you know, see the best of him once again, because he did very well at Napoli to move them from like 5th or 6th up to competing with Juventus in 2nd, which in the end it didn't work out. And to be honest, we should have seen it coming. Like, Sarri working out with Ronaldo was never going to work out, let's be honest, because as much as Sarri has some great philosophies when it comes to his idea of playing football, he's not a great motivator, and I think at the end of the day it wasn't going to work out with players like Ronaldo, who, you know, has a massive ego at that club. But yeah, I think that Maurizio Sarri is a very good manager when he's at the right club. I mean, there's certain clubs that just don't fit the way he wants to play, or his personality and his mentality and all that sort of stuff, like the likes of Chelsea and Juventus, of course, as we've seen, because he's only spent 1 season at each club. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll always respect Maurizio Sarri for what he did for Chelsea. I mean, although it wasn't the best of seasons, he did manage to get us to 3rd place and, of course, win that famous 4-1 victory over Arsenal in Baku in the Europa League final, which was a great memory of mine. But yeah, what most people don't really understand is that Maurizio Sarri wasn't even like in the game for a long period of time. He literally got into management after being a banker. So of course he doesn't really understand like how a player's mentality works, because he was actually never a player himself, so that's kind of a downfall for him as well, I think. And yeah, overall man management, especially these days, is a lot more crucial going into management, and I think that's one of Maurizio Sarri's main weaknesses. But yeah, where he goes next is very interesting, because another thing I want to say as well is that that does decrease the chances of Jorginho leaving quite a lot, because if he was going to leave realistically to Chelsea, he was going to follow Maurizio Sarri to Juventus, but that won't happen now because of course Sarri's gone. Unless Maurizio Sarri gets a job at another like elite European club, which I can't really see, to be honest. I think that Jorginho probably will stay at Chelsea now. I know he's very fondly looked at in Italy from other Italian clubs. However, I think that Jorginho's main goal was to go to Juventus if he was to leave Chelsea, and obviously that won't happen now unless Juventus are still keen on him. But yeah, I think overall Maurizio Sarri is like the #1 manager in world of football that divides opinion. I mean, half of the people think he's a great manager and half of the people think he's not great. And yeah, as I said at the start of this video, I think one of the main downfalls he's had at Juventus, and maybe even at Chelsea as well, you could say, is ultimately his stubbornness to change the style of football that he wants to play. I know it's a good style of football, but in certain leagues like the Premier League it doesn't work, and I think he was very stubborn in not wanting to change any single aspect of it. Like, you take Pep Guardiola when he came into Manchester City, his Manchester City team in his first season got absolutely found out because of the lack of quality in the way that Guardiola played, so he changed it up a bit in his 2nd season, and of course history is history. They went on to record 198 points in 2 seasons, which is just an unbelievable achievement. But yet, to conclude, I'm very interested to see where Maurizio Sarri ends up next. Will he go back to Napoli after, of course, Gennaro Gattuso's finished there? But yeah, any Chelsea fans or fans in general that are watching this video, what are your thoughts on Maurizio Sarri and the job he did at Chelsea and Juventus and even maybe Napoli? Do you think he's a world-class manager? Because I think he's probably not a world-class manager simply because he's way too stubborn, but I think he's a decent coach if you give him the right club. But yeah, that is where we're going to end this video, guys. So if you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like on the video, that'd be much appreciated. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel because we are very close to 200 subscribers. We're closing in, we're 7 off at this moment in time, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.